And coming to you live once again, it's your boy Wex, breaking the Lawson with another AEW Dynamite review. But before we get into the review, I just want to go ahead and give a congratulations to the winner of the 2021 Fighting Spirit Tournament, Toby Farley from Cookeville, Tennessee. He just went on, he fought the gauntlet, he got his ass whooped, and we thought he was not going to come back. He was possibly injured, and then he came back, won the tournament. Great showing. Great showing from everybody in that tournament. Just congratulations to everybody there, but especially the winner, Toby Farley. And a new episode of Kayfabe Comparisons podcast. The Holy Trinity is back this week, and we did the top 5 favorite WrestleMania matches and our top 5 least favorite WrestleMania matches. We went on the top, went down, real down to the far down, bottom low, so you know, you better go check that now. Go give it a listen coming up this Saturday. But alright, without further ado, let's get into the AEW Dynamite review. Starting off tonight, we get the Prince of Pro Wrestling, the self-proclaimed Prince of Pro Wrestling, going up against the new self-proclaimed Lord of Lucha Libre, Pentagon Jr. versus Cody Rhodes in the opening match of tonight on AEW Dynamite. It was a great match. They did a lot of cool shit. Cody did a really sick Hurricane Run off the top. Pentagon Jr., you know, was doing some of his classic shit. Lots of chops, lots of Sierra Miedo right in the face. We got a lot of solid back and forth, and Cody Rhodes even hit a vertebreaker. Damn it. Got a lot of solid moves, lots of solid back and forth. Cody Rhodes hit a vertebreaker, which I thought was going to be it. Then once Pentagon kicked out of that, I was like, alright, well, if he's going to kick out of the vertebreaker, then he's going to get the win. He did the classic, way back from Lucha Underground, the arm break, and he went for the arm break on Cody Rhodes, and Cody went back for a minute and then somehow rolled him up for a pin and won the match, and I was like, what the fuck is this bullshit? You're gonna take the Pentagon arm break and then roll him up? It's like, nah, come on, that's straight bullshit. And then, of course, after the match, Pentagon went and started beating down on the arm and everything, and he went with the crowd and was having a good time and enjoyed the work that he just done on Cody's arm and put on a little St. Patrick's Day hat and was posing, having a great time. He was loving it. I'm hoping that they get another matchup and he can actually win, but the ending of that was straight bullshit. How the fuck can Cody get a roll-up victory after just getting your arm broken by Pentagon Jr.? That just don't sit well with me. Alright, up next, we get a little backstage interview segment with the Young Bucks, and they basically call out Rey Fenix and Death Triangle and say, you know, you did some pretty solid work in these singles matches, but it's not a tag team match, and that's why we're still the tag team champions. Then Don Callis comes in the shot, basically to talk a little shit, just starts downing the Bucks, saying they're, you know, not as tough as they were back in New Japan. And then he takes a little shot at WWE by flashing the no slapping the leg when kicking shirt real quick, which I thought was pretty funny. A little nice jab, nothing too serious. But yeah, basically calling out the Young Bucks either to like get them hyped up to join with the elite dudes and do some bad shit, or to maybe keep them on their path of solidarity. Good Christian boys making some noise right here from Papa Buck. I know I knocked that down, but you see that? Never look back, never say die. I mean... Don Callis says they're not the old Young Bucks that he remembers from New Japan. They look a little pissed off as we go to the next segment. The next contest on tonight's card was Jade Cargill making her singles debut in AEW Dynamite. As you know, she had a tag team match a couple weeks ago with Shaq, but this time she had a quick squash match with Danny Jordan. Hit her with the release German suplex, threw her back, and then hit her with that big facebuster thing. I think they call it the Jaded for the quick victory. She looks pretty solid again this time, and she went over to the side over there where the faces sit on the outside to talk a little shit to Red Velvet, flex on her a little bit, go back, and then she went to the back for the next part of the show.
Juice up, juice up.
We finally get the answer to the ending of last week's Dynamite. MJF, Tully Blanchard, FTR, Shawn Spears and Wardlow make their way to the ring, and we first get a promo from Tully Blanchard. He starts, you know, cutting a Grade A Classic promo, basically saying he started off his career in the business with some of the best guys, and he's going to end it with some of the best guys. He gives MJF the mic, and MJF lays out a brilliant promo on Chris Jericho, saying he never intended to take over the Inner Circle, he just wanted to destroy it from within, make his own group that's even fucking stronger, and then he was tired of Chris Jericho's comedy bullshit, made fun of his hairline, made fun of his gut, made fun of his pecs, basically just roasted down Chris Jericho, hit him where it hurts. So I'm really looking forward to the ensuing feud between the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle. That is their new name officially, so we'll see what happens next in this blood feud, because you can damn sure bet it's gonna heat up. And up next, we have some 10-man tag action. You got Jurassic Express and Bear Country taking on Matt Hardy and his group of cronies, Butcher and the Blade and Private Party, which was a pretty chaotic match, which you're pretty much going to get if you have anything more than a 6-man tag and a 10-man tag. It's just pretty goddamn wild. And Marco Stunt got the shit beat out of him for a while. We got a nice little hot tag from Luchasaurus. He went there and did a little bit of work. But before you know it, things started to break down at one point where Bear Country just threw Marco Stunt out of the ring onto everybody, and Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy were like, what the fuck, why'd you guys do that? And they kind of got into an argument over in the side, and at one point Marco Stunt just tags himself in, and that was a terrible idea. He starts getting his ass handed to him left and right. Private Party starts hitting all their moves. They hit the gin and juice. Then Matt Hardy this time does not steal his tag in. He's like, come on, give it to me. And Private Party's like, all right. They tag Matt Hardy in, and after Marco Stunt's already completely incapacitated unnecessarily, goes and hits the Twist of Fate. Boom, 1, 2, 3, they get the victory, and I guess they got a little steam building here, but the real story that I'm seeing here is the feud we got building between Bear Country and Jurassic Express. I guess they're going to get a little feud going. It'll be pretty interesting. You'll see some nice matches between those two groups. Backstage, we finally get to hear Christian speak after Kenny Omega interrupted him last week. Even though he made his presence known, you know, he didn't really get to actually say what he needed to say, and he said what we all were thinking. He's gunning for that world title, but he's not going to jump in front of the line. You know he has to build wins. You know he has to prove himself. He said he's here to outwork everyone, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. The next bout on the card was a match that was hyped up from last week. We get the Good Brothers, who lost their Impact World Tag Team Championships against Finn Juice from New Japan Pro Wrestling, taking on Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley, in which was basically a brawl from the get-go. Before the match even started, they were just brawling on the outside, and eventually they made their way back into the ring and did some actual wrestling. We got a nice exploder suplex from Eddie Kingston, and Eddie Kingston was just selling everything like a motherfucker, like he always does. He just looks like he's in so much agony and pain. He's one of the best at doing that shit. I love him on the mic and everything. Eddie Kingston's fucking awesome. Anyways, the match kind of broke down at one point. The Good Brothers started, you know, hitting the double team moves, started going wild, and then Mox hits a pile driver at one point, a kick out, some more chaos ensues, and then Mox with his fucked up shoulder arm from all the burns and shit. God damn it. And Mox with his fucked up shoulder from all the burns and stuff from the barbed wire death match gets the surprise roll-up victory, but then immediately, of course, they just start for the beatdown. Kenny Omega makes his way to the ring, like, strutting all funny and shit, and they get on down there and they start laying into Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley. They get the steel chair, they Pillmanize Eddie Kingston's leg, and they get Jon Moxley's neck in the chair, getting ready for another Pillmanization. Is that what you want to call it?
Yes.
They get ready for another Pillmanization on the neck of Jon Moxley, but the Young Bucks have had enough at this point, and they run out to be like, yo, dudes, fucking quit, stop. And they try to make the save, they try to stop, but then the Good Brothers, Don Callis and Kenny Omega are pissed, and they're like, what the fuck are you doing here? And they're going for the Too Sweet, and they're throwing it up. They're putting it up there, and the Young Bucks are like, nah, we can't succumb to this bullshit. We're good Christian boys making some noise. We're not gonna do that bullshit. So the Bucks turn down the Too Sweet, they leave the ring, and Kenny Omega gets fucking wild, rips his shirt off, and he turns Matt around and shoves the Too Sweet right into his forehead, kind of like how Pentagon does with the Cero Miedo. And ooh, it was getting hot and spicy. I was like, oh shit. I thought he was thinking about joining for a second, but he said no. They turned around and went to the back. This is an interesting development. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens between them. Maybe a future Good Brothers versus...
No, not the Papa Buck!
Papa Buck is dead! I'm sorry.
Christ.
I'm sorry, Papa Buck. I didn't mean to do that.
God damn it.
I hope you didn't see what was behind there, because that's not very Christian-like. But
Massey.
we gotta do what we gotta do here. Up next, for the goddamn millionth time in a row, Tony Schiavone is on the stage and calls out none other than the Icon Sting. But this time, Sting kind of puts over Darby Allin, and Darby Allin says, you know, I've only defended this TNT Championship 3 times since November. It's bullshit. I want to be a fighting champion. And as a tribute to the best champion of all time, Mr. Brody Lee, he said he's gonna give the Dark Order a chance to bring the TNT Championship back home. But before he can even really finish his statement and put that out there, Lance Archer comes out, interrupts again, starts talking shit. Things are getting a little heated. Jake the Snake, you know, cuts a little promo, talking more shit himself. Good old classic Jake the Snake shit right there. Always love a Jake the Snake promo. And then they talk their little shit and they leave. But then Team Taz comes out, which I thought we were through with Team Taz, and Brian Cage comes up and he's like, Sting, like, you know what I said about you and all the shit, you're nothing without the bat, but you know what, after this match, I respect you, you are an icon, you still got it. And Team Taz is like, yo, what the fuck, what are you talking about, Cage? And he just says, fuck that, and storms off. And I guess, are we seeing the beginning of the dissension of Team Taz, or at least Brian Cage maybe making a babyface turn and making a little run going that way? You never know, but Brian Cage, you know, he's not really that strong on the mic, so a babyface run would be good. He could be silent and just do some nice ass whipping, maybe have a little something with somebody else, maybe get another manager, you never know, but I want I like what's going on here with Team Taz and Brian Cage's little dissension. Maybe him and Will Hobbs can have a nice match. Up next, Rey Fenix in another singles match, as we mentioned earlier. The Young Bucks talking about that, this time going up against another half of a tag team, Angelico, which I'm pretty sure these guys had a match on Lucha Underground a time or two, or at least were in a match involving each other, but this match was great. They both know that classic Mexican submission style that Angelico likes to use because he trained down there for such a long time, even though he is from South Africa. But it was a great match. They definitely worked well together, and lots of great submissions, but Fenix still did all of his nice high-flying moves. And there's a really nice sequence in the end where they were doing roll-up after roll-up after roll-up and exchanging some kicks, some really solid, hard kicks. And then Rey Fenix hits this crucifix bomb and then immediately flips him up and hits the, apparently, it's called the Phoenix Thunder Driver, but it's kind of like over the shoulder, and he does a little kick to the head and does the driver. The Phoenix Thunder Driver for the win. It was a sick match. Angelico is definitely a little bit underrated. I don't think people know how sick Angelico is. I really have only seen his stuff in Lucha Underground, and that stuff is great enough that can speak for itself. You go check that shit out somewhere. I'm thinking it's on YouTube. And as it was announced earlier by Darby Allin, he's going to be defending his TNT Championship against one of the members of the Dark Order. We get the whole Dark Order in the locker room together, and they're like, who's going to do it? Who's going to go for the title? And they're trying to decide, and it's none other than the Meat Man, John Silver. Fellow Tim and Eric fan. He's going to be taking on Darby Allin. I'm pretty sure they've had matchups before on the indies. I think I've seen a match or two online somewhere here or there. But goddammit, I love both of these two. These both are great wrestlers. Awesome personalities, awesome gimmicks and stuff, you know. Hopefully they have good chemistry in the ring, and I'm looking forward to this match. I would love for John Silver to win the TNT Championship, but I don't see them taking off a Darby this quick. I don't know. Let's call it Max, see if he knows. I don't got COVID, I promise. I've been vaccinated. For the main event of the evening, we got the first ever women's main event in AEW history and the first ever lights out unsanctioned match against Thunder Rosa and Dr. Britt Baker DMD. And holy fucking shit, did this match go beyond all my expectations of what I thought they were going to do. They fucking killed it. And talk about fucking blood war. These girls bled more than I've seen basically any women's match on like cable TV in North America ever. Like you might see some of this stuff on like the indies, like in some death matches and shit, but like on straight up American cable television, a women's match with this much blood, I've never seen it before, and I hope we get to see it more because it's really cool to see the girls go out there and go just as hard as the guys and do just some crazy ass shit that I probably would never do myself. Like Thunder Rosa was busted open like almost immediately on the steel steps, and like she was kind of bleeding and everything, and I was like, oh shit, she's busted open, and I was kind of surprised then, but whoa, was I gonna be in for a goddamn shocker here in a second.
Rex supports violence against women. I had to say it.
That's women on women violence though, right? That's okay if they beat each other up. Just, I mean, dude, they did so many fucking insane spots. At one point, they make a big pile of chairs in the ring, and Britt Baker goes for a superplex off the top that basically fucks both of them up. At one point, Thunder Rosa bulldogs Britt Baker's face into a ladder, and then she gets busted open, and god damn is she busted open. She's bleeding so much, it looks like fucking Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan TNA 2007, if you saw that bullshit. Like, I'm talking about gushing blood. And they were fucking, like, so many crazy ass spots. Like they pulled out the thumbtacks. At one point, Thunder Rosa hit a Death Valley driver like from the second rope onto a ladder. Britt Baker got power bombed in the thumbtacks. We got, oh my god, they were just destroying each other. Rebel tries to get involved and she gets kicked off the apron and goes through a table. And like I already said, she fucking power bombed Britt Baker into the thumbtacks, like, and she's cut. It wasn't just a few thumbtacks. It wasn't like Eric Young back on the TNA recently when he like went into thumbtacks in that match with Rhino where he got like 2 of them on there. Like, nah, she got fucking all the way, the whole back covered in thumbtacks. And then one of the coolest spots, similar to the Kenny Omega, John Moxley hit the explosion to break the hold, Britt Baker cinches in the lockjaw. Thunder Rosa rolls her over into the thumbtacks to break up the hold, which was like, ah, fuck. More thumbtacks introduced in the ones that were already there. Just excruciating fucking pain on the back right there. Britt Baker gave Thunder Rosa a brutal-ass fucking super kick, and they get to fighting on the outside, and I think Britt Baker's about to set up for something, but before you know it, Thunder Rosa has her set up on the apron for the Thunder Rosa driver, off the apron, through the table for the victory. Holy fucking shit, this match was amazing. It really topped off a really solid Dynamite. My only gripe in this match is that we got fucking Cody Rhodes winning after Pentagon breaks his arm. That's straight fucking bullshit. that really hindered it for me. It really just pissed me off because you know how I feel about Cody. He needs to go ahead and get that full heel turn, quit fucking with us here if he's going to do bullshit like that. But I'm going to give this week's AEW Dynamite a 4 out of 6 beers on the 6-pack, you know. It was pretty solid. We just need a little bit extra. But that death match, though, I don't even want to call it a death match, just a goddamn killer. It was amazing. AEW, I like what you're doing, and hopefully this boosts the women's division up to that next upper level they need to be. And I want to see more of this shit. I want to see more just fucking brawling, just letting them go, just let them do it like the guys do it. Just let them fuck each other up. I want to see some real deal wrestling. I want to see some people working, baby. But all right, be sure to like, subscribe, share that shit with your homies, and we'll see you next week. Peace.